What's happening, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. If you were on social media in the last couple weeks, you saw a viral video of a dude who goes down to investigate a bump in the night, see an intruder, and that intruder happened to be a very large black bear. The guy who shot the bear, we've got him on the horn. You're gonna meet him and we're gonna talk about this amazing viral moment. We're gonna watch the video and then I'll introduce you to Earl, the shooter of black bears. Here we go.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Was that door open?
No, it came to the screen.
Is there another one? Hey, stay there. Stay there. It's okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Are you okay, Marty?
Yeah.
Earl, what's happening? Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, John, thanks for having me.
Very few people have shot bears, and I think you're the only one I've ever heard of that shot a black bear in their home. How's that make you feel, bro?
Well, you know, I've actually been trying to hunt black bear for a while, and had some close calls trying to get something actually hunting. Never actually got one, and not how I wanted to shoot my first bear. So a little sad for the bear, but you know, I really didn't have a choice. It was in my kitchen. It charged me. What are you gonna do?
Wow. All right. So can you walk us through the circumstances of what happened? Kind of what time was it? Were you in bed or?
So in bed, it was about 4 a.m., bump in the night. My wife actually wakes me up and, you know, hear some rustling in the kitchen. I'm not sure what's going on. I do have a pretty good security system, so I checked my security cameras. No vehicles coming out of the property, no people on the property, no people in the house, so not quite sure what's going on. Go grab my rifle, figure I'll go check it out, you know, see what it is. Going downstairs, head into the kitchen, look in the pantry, I can kind of hear something, step into what looks like it's our living room, but it's also attached to the kitchen, and there's a couple countertops between me and the bear. I see the bear over by our trash can, you know, obviously what a bear is gonna go for. And then I keep moving to try to get a shot on it, and that's when it runs right at me. And anyway, I started blasting.
Wow. All right. I want to get to that. How did the bear get in? Is it like MacGyver, Ocean's 12 picking locks, or is it a failure on your part? How did it breach your structure?
Yes, that's a great question. It's probably one of the most common questions I get. We live in the mountains and we don't have AC. It does get hot here during the day, but it cools off a lot at night. So it's nice to leave some windows cracked. We left a window cracked, maybe just about that much, on our second story deck. The bear climbed up onto the second story deck, was able to jimmy open that cracked window, pushed in the screen, and that's how it got in.
I would never have to, because, you know, like there's a small ounce of judgment I have for you. I'm like, dude, you will let a bear in your house. I mean, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, but
yeah,
cracking the window
exactly.
on the second floor, I mean, the bear worked for it. He Ocean's 12 shimmied it up and he earned it, didn't he? So I'm going to withdraw the silent judgment I had for you. All right, the bear got in your structure. I mean, you see it. Was there a suspension of belief of like, there's a large black bear and are you in boxers? What with a gun? Of like, what's your situation? I want to know everything. Walk us through this.
So, I mean, everybody's seen me in my underwear now, so that's a little awkward, you know. And I maybe in the back of my mind I had that it could be an animal. We live in bear country, and I've heard of bears breaking into houses here, so it wasn't too far out of the realm of possibility. It does happen. When I talked to Sheriff and Parks and Wildlife afterwards, they weren't too surprised that a bear got into a house. It does happen. But yeah, I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, no way. And then I was immediately like, well, I'm going to put this thing down if I can, or scare it out of the house. and then I had no choice.
Your backdrop seems to suggest that you might be a gun guy. You got guns all behind you and stuff. What gun did you take the bear down with?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. Everybody wants to know that. I've got it behind me. You want to see it?
I do. I want to see the gun.
Quick interruption, guys. We're talking about bear stuff. Did you know bears are just like criminals in one main way? They ignore gun-free zone signs and they don't care about your right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You might not have known that about bears, but perhaps if you were schooled up, you would. This video is sponsored by Hillsdale College. Right now, Hillsdale is offering over 40 different free online courses if you check out my link, hillsdale.edu/WPS. One particular class I'm really excited about, and you should be too. It's The Federalists by Alexander Hamilton and James Madison, where these pioneer foundings are really getting into a lot of the whys behind the Constitution to really build up the ideal of what America should be. You can understand founders' intent. You can check out that class and 40 plus other free online classes. Again, get your learn on so that you can know how to defeat villains, tyrants, and maybe even a black bear. Go right now to hillsdale.edu/WPS to enroll. There is no cost. It's easy to get started. That's hillsdale.edu/WPS to enroll.
So 11.5-inch Geisley Super Duty in 5.56. I don't know if that's kind of blurring out there. There you go. Yeah, Surefire cam. That's another question I got a lot was, oh, I hope that guy, his ears are okay, right? Yeah, my ears are fine. Surefire, it's the Surefire RC2 Mini, light laser, EOTech.
I like how you're rolling.
Oh, thank
you. Good job. This is, I
know for a long time. Yes, I know for a long time that you were anti-suppressor for home defense, so I hope that you're okay having me on your show. Or maybe you changed your mind on that. I can't remember, but that was in the back of my mind for a long time. I'm like, oh man, John Lovell. He said no suppressor for home defense. I'm glad I had one on my gun. You know, if in the video you can actually hear my hearing's fine. I'm actually just whispering back to my wife in the video. So yeah, thankful I had a suppressor on. I do really enjoy shooting. I shoot a lot. You know, it's a fun hobby, and I really enjoy it. And you know, I think you get accused sometimes of LARPing, and I think there's actually, like, if I could speak to masculinity on that, a lot of masculinity now is sort of a LARP. Like, you don't necessarily need to go to the gym and bench press 315. You don't necessarily need to shoot guns. Like, a lot of masculinity seems to be that way because we live in a society where, you know, you could just watch or look at Excel spreadsheets all day and go home and sit on your couch and eat Cheetos and wait for the next Marvel movie to come out, and that's totally fine. But I think masculinity does require a little bit of a LARP, and this is kind of my outlet for it. So
that's good. Hey, men are supposed to be protectors. That's right. And you protected your family. Right. You got a wife. Right. You got some kiddos running around, or what?
I have a wife. Yeah. So at the time I had I still have a wife, but wife and 6 kids in the house. And then we also have an au pair that's with us. Wow. So I'm responsible for, you know, 8 other people plus myself. So 9 people in the house. And yeah, as the man of the house, you should have agency, and you should have the ability to assert your will in circumstances. And, you know, if that means protecting your family, you better be able to do it.
Hey, congratulations on having such a huge, blessed family. Way to go, Papa Bear, on defending them as well. Earl, another question. What range did the bear end up? How close did he get? Because in the video, you fire up a couple shots, and then he's hard charging, and it looks like he is right up on you. How close did he get?
I started shooting when it was about 2 yards away, so 6 feet, really close. And you can see in the video, I actually start taking a few steps back as I'm shooting, trying to create space between me and the bear. If I had not stepped back, I probably could have touched the bear with the muzzle of my gun by the time it was dead. So it was very, very close.
Bravo. Did you go to sleep after that? I'm like, I shot the bear. You have some milk, you know, and maybe a little cookie, and you go back to it. What did you do the rest of the night? I feel like I'd wake up the family and I'd be posing.
I definitely was not going back to sleep. It was 4 a.m. I usually get up early anyway, not that early, but, you know, close enough. And there was an adrenaline dump for sure, and I'm not going back to bed. And then the biggest thing was like, well, now what, right? So I'm figuring that out. I did end up calling the sheriff and Parks and Wildlife just because I wanted to do it right, you know. and
Yeah.
spent time with them. They're coming up to the house. That's the other thing I learned. It took 45 minutes for the sheriff to get to my house. So 911 response time up here, not too quick. So that was a little bit. That was a little spooky.
Common for rural.
Several of my kids didn't even wake up. I was shooting suppressed, and maybe that speaks to your point about suppressors for home defense and bad guys. But I think only 3 of my 6 kids woke up. Obviously, my wife was awake. My au pair slept through it completely, didn't wake up. So
were you terrified? What was going through your head and heart? Is this the scaredest you've ever been in life?
Honestly, I thought it was surprisingly chill. I mean, my heart rate's almost as high right now. Just talking to you, I'm not much of a talker. I took a screenshot of my Garmin info, and my heart rate cracked 100, but didn't quite crack 110. And I don't know if it's all the commodities trading. I'm a commodities trader. So it's a very stressful job. And I shoot a lot to begin with. So way more chill in hindsight looking back. I can't believe I was that calm in the moment, I guess. Like, I'm surprised. So
maybe a mercy from the Lord too. And also right. I wonder when right behind you is your kids, it'll make you ever so bold. It's like, I'm not afraid of anything here. You're threatening my kids. There's a scripture in the book of 1 John that says love, perfect love casts out all fear. Is that 1 John? Lyndon? Yeah, it's 1 John. Yeah. Anyway, but maybe that was the difference. I don't know. But either way, good job, protector. With all that's happened bear-wise, is it going to change anything that you do from a home defense standpoint?
Yeah, that's a great question. For security, there's certainly things I'm going to do differently. Obviously, keep that window shut now that I know that that's a possibility. I may upgrade my security system a little bit. It's very geared towards people and vehicles right now, and obviously, bear got in my house, so that'll be something to address. As far as training goes, I do like shooting bill drills. Probably not going to stop shooting bill drills. That was very useful for me that evening or that morning.
Yeah.
I think some other stuff I learned was that a weapon light is super important. Get a weapon light.
Right.
That was, without that, it would have been probably different. So weapon light's good. Yeah, make sure that I think you said the other day, I heard this on one of your shows, shooting should be the easy part of something. If there's something that happens, shooting should be the easy part. And I totally agree, especially as a hunter. So much goes into whatever you're doing, and when you get in that situation, especially if it's reactive, shooting should be the easy part. And so go out, make sure you're training, make sure you're shooting.
Yep, that's right. And so what the rest of it was is tactics trump skill. And it's not that skill isn't important. Skill is very, very important. But if you're in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, that's tactics, timing, positioning, psychology. If you're in the right place, as you said, as a hunter, you're in the perfect spot, deer come in, you're downwind, they walk into your crosshairs, you don't have to be a very good shot because your tactics were so good, the skill requirement is far less.
I've seen it happen where you get in a situation, you do everything right, and then you don't have the skill. Like you easy shot, you miss it. It's like, make sure that you're at least, make sure that you do have the skills, because man, if you do your tactics right, and like I said, I've seen this in the field hunting with buddies, and it's like, bro, but did you not shoot enough this summer?
Earl, thanks so much for joining us. Is there any last thing you'd like to say to the Warrior Poet audience at large?
Yeah, don't neglect your agency, especially as a Christian man. I think agency is really important these days. And what I mean by that is you can just do stuff. Don't be afraid to do stuff. The world is really used to a lot of Christians being doormats. And they're going to freak out when you just start doing stuff, and that might be defending your home. That might be starting a business. That might be getting into politics. There's a lot of stuff you can just go do. So as a Christian man, celebrate your agency, develop your agency, and exercise your agency.
Hey, amen to that. Earl, if I ever meet you in person, this is just an invisible IOU, coffee, lunch, a beer, whatever blows your hair back. But I like your style. I like how you roll. You got my respect and that of our community in general. Way to stand in the gap and defend your family against a freaking bear. That's awesome. So Earl, again, thanks for joining us, bro.
Hey, thanks, John. Thanks for having me.